The panic at Lucasfilm is real. Kathleen Kennedy's strategy finally canned, apparently by Disney, and Dave Filoni trying to save his phony baloney hat and his phony baloney job by going all in on Luke Skywalker. Folks, we've got the details right now. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we endeavor to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. Once upon a time, in a YouTube channel long ago, we were known as scoopers here on the Pro Channel, but we haven't been doing much scooping lately. And that's because there's been so much news that we just can't even get a rumor in. But we're going back to it today, folks, and it's a big one. It's a grand one. It's the kind of thing you want to hear about. Joining us today to talk about it, we've got Culture Casino and Marvin, the movie monster. Welcome back, guys.
Hello. We're representing that game place in the house today, apparently.
That's right. That's right. In fact, I need a change of background. There we go.
Oh, there it is. Now I feel like I'm at home.
That's the magic of Culture Casino, folks. If you are not yet subscribed to @that game place, well, you should be for all the latest gaming news. But folks, it's time to dive into Star Wars news right now. As we do so, click the like button and let's put the disclaimer. We're going to pull it out of the cobwebbed attic and say it for the first time in a while. Folks, this video will feature rumor and speculation. Take it with a grain of salt. Here we go. All right, this is out of FandomWire, and it's the same article that Echo Base Network used earlier today. We've got some new stuff to add to it, but we want to say a huge congratulations to Echo Base Network. I do not know who their source is that helped them scoop quite a bit, but folks, if you've not yet seen the video from Echo Base Network, they beat us to the chase on a bunch of this stuff. We've got some more stuff to share, but Coach and Nick knocked it out of the park, and congratulations to them. We just could not get out there quick enough, but we've got some additionals to add to the conversation. Let's start off with FandomWire, though, and this is by Subham, and it's reviewed by Sayantan, neither of which do I believe to be their real names. But you know what? Given who I am, I can't complain. They have to bring Luke in to face her. Disney can set up a nasty Luke Skywalker fight sequence in Ahsoka Season 2 with Abeloth's reported Star Wars debut. Now, where's this coming from? Well, it's coming from renowned scooper Daniel RPK, who says that in Ahsoka Season 2, they're going to be battling against the, is it the Mortis Gods, gentlemen? Is that the name of these characters they're going to be battling? The Mortis Gods?
Yeah, some people call them the Mortis Gods. Some people just call them the family. The father, the son, the daughter. And now they're talking about Abeloth, which is a whole other can of worms. So,
but these characters come from the Dave Filoni cartoons, right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, well, Abeloth was, I believe Abeloth was extended universe first. I believe, part of like the new Jedi Order stuff for a while.
So let's read some of this article. It says, soon after the rumor of her appearance circulated, again coming from Daniel RPK, the fans asserted that Ahsoka Season 2 may give us one of the nastiest live-action fight sequences in the Star Wars universe, as Luke Skywalker already defeated Abeloth in Star Wars Legends. That is true. And it also seems to be true, if Daniel RPK is to be believed, that Abeloth is coming to Ahsoka. That seems right up the alley of Dave Filoni. But guys, I have a bit of news about this. According to a source I have, and again, folks, this is rumor and speculation, but according to a source that I have, folks, check the track record if you want to know whether or not you should believe this. Dave Filoni may be preparing to have Ahsoka now defeat Abeloth in Ahsoka Season 2, or at least face off with her. Not sure what the result will be, but I am hearing that Luke Skywalker will make an appearance. Whether or not he is part of the fight, Ahsoka seems to be the one that will be the one taking down Abeloth, but this also is related to the Mandalorian movie. And guys, I'll just go ahead and tell you what I'm hearing is that Dave Filoni may be getting visits. Again, folks, rumor. Dave Filoni may be getting visits these days from folks from Burbank, at least with virtual conferences. And the reason might be that the acolyte was sort of the final nail in the coffin. They're spooked over at Disney. They've seen enough. They've heard enough. They've watched enough. They're ready for people to watch Star Wars again. And so there may be an effort to move this franchise back to Luke Skywalker. And what I'm being told is that while you probably will see Luke Skywalker in season 2 of Ahsoka, you're really going to see Luke Skywalker in some other stuff. And that they may be preparing for a heavy push of Luke Skywalker, even if Kathleen Kennedy doesn't like it. It doesn't matter anymore. This is a franchise that's going to go back to Luke. And Culture, earlier this year, we actually had Mark Hamill came out with a tweet, not in support of a certain president who struggled a little bit last week, but rather Mark Hamill came out with a tweet that said that he was on set for something that he couldn't talk about, and it would be a big deal, and he couldn't believe he was back again. Put out a tweet about that. It coincided with the very first day of people going in for their table reads for the Mandalorian movie. Culture, what do you think about the idea that Star Wars might be going very heavily now back to Luke Skywalker?
Well, I think in light of the news you just broke and the fact that I think they have to go all Luke all the time, I have a feeling that we might see Luke face Abeloth, possibly, maybe. I mean, he would have to do that in conjunction with others. It would completely break the expanded, extended universe stuff, the EU. But it would be, I don't know. I mean, I'm speculating 100%, but would it surprise me? No, because the only thing that the fans reacted so strongly to towards the end of season 2 of Mandalorian was Luke Skywalker's return. And an older Luke would maybe make sense, possibly. Hard to say how they were going to go forward with that, but maybe they'll use the same actor they used the last time to be Luke. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I think that's the only way they can stay relevant.
So, Marvin, we're hearing that the Rey movie is going forward, shockingly, but it's still going forward. And, of course, we broke the Rey movie exclusively here on this channel when folks said, surely, it can't be. They've lost their minds, but it happened. Marvin, what do you think, though, in terms of if they bring Luke back, but the sequel trilogy still exists? I don't know. Okay, so, well, there's two ways to look at this. One is you could say that Star Wars fans are done, and until you get rid of the Jake Skywalker storyline, they're not coming back no matter what. The other way you could look at this is say, well, people have short attention spans, and they'll see, oh, that's Luke. Is he like he was in The Mandalorian season 2? Cool, I'm going to go watch it. Which way do you think this is going to swing?
So for me personally, as a writer, as a creative, as a fan, I am obsessed with endings, how things end, where we go, what's the destination. So for me, I don't care if he comes in and him and Abeloth have a 3-episode long fight scene that's epic. At the end of the day, the road still leads to him drinking green milk and losing a sword fight to Rey and then dying on a rock. So I think it's a little too late. I think they've already done. I think Rian Johnson did irreparable harm to this franchise by doing irreparable harm to Luke Skywalker. He took and now, you know, we're talking about Ahsoka being the one to defeat Abeloth. You've now taken the new Jedi Order away from him and given it to Rey. You've now taken the struggle with Abeloth away from him, and you've given it to Ahsoka. If he's there, it's only to prop up the ones they want to prop up. I have no faith in their ability to actually use Luke Skywalker in a meaningful capacity. I think the only person who maybe had that on their agenda to do was Jon Favreau, and, you know, as we covered, he's gone. I don't know. I think it's a desperation move that I think people are just done. I mean, no, never underestimate if they can give you like a Luke Skywalker series or a Luke Skywalker movie or something specifically focused on him. I think that's great. If they try to prop up their girl boss, meaningless Kathleen Kennedy projects by just injecting him into it, we saw how well that worked with the Book of Boba Fett.
So let me throw some ideas to you guys, and let's connect some dots for the audience. Okay, so dot number one that we need to connect is we have heard through sources reliably in the past that Jon Favreau, for whatever he may, you know, be good at or bad at with Star Wars, he's an accomplished director. And he does not want his Star Wars film, probably the only one he'll ever do, to be a bust. And he's watched what's happened with all of these other Star Wars ideas. And Jon Favreau, if he has any say in the matter, he's going to put Luke Skywalker in there to ensure that he doesn't have a box office flop. Because he knows what sells the tickets. Dot number two to connect is, and this comes from the source that I've been talking with, I consider them to be knowledgeable. I would not be doing this video if I thought it would be egg on my face later. You can be right 99 times, folks, and if you're wrong one time, people will remember it. So, we have to have some level of veracity that we think is happening before we'll bring a topic into the channel like this. But here's the other thing. Whatever you may think of Kathleen Kennedy and when she's going to leave Lucasfilm, I'm told they are preparing for a post-Kennedy time, a post-Kennedy era at Lucasfilm. May happen this year, may happen next year, may happen in 2 to 3 years. And I'm told from this source that the movement that is likely to happen and probably pushed for by the higher ups at Disney is to get this back on track with Luke Skywalker. I don't know what that's going to mean necessarily. I don't know if we're stuck between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy forever and just pretend that Jake never happened, but that's what they want to do. And listen, there's got to be a push from everybody who's in licensing. Like everybody who's trying to sell Star Wars. There's got to be, they got to be screaming at the top of their lungs. We need Luke. We need Leia. We need Han. That's what sells. We can't sell the blankies. We can't sell the huggies. We can't sell the action figures. We can't sell the plushies. We need these characters. Culture, poke a hole in that anywhere you can find one.
Well, honestly, I can't, bro. I mean, they absolutely need the original trio. They're going to have a hard time bringing that back. I think that if they do have Luke limp in, maybe to the end of this Ahsoka season 2, it draws the fans in like a moth to a flame, or at least some of the people who would still be remotely interested.
It's going to make the shills really mad, Culture. The shills are not going to be happy.
Well, what was the term that was used? They put him in mothballs, or they mothballed?
Cobwebbed.
Cobwebbed.
Yeah. Culture. That is what was told. That was what was told to us from a focus group session where the licensing partners were asking, we need these characters, and Lucasfilm literally told the licensing partners, folks, I bet you can figure out who these licensing partners might be, but they were literally told these characters are cobwebbed. You can use them on occasion, but they don't drive our franchise anymore.
Wow. Like you said, I think the only way that they can survive and overcome audience apathy, which I think we've pretty well established in the last several videos that we've all done on the subject matter, is to return to some greatness and to bring in the cobwebbed character of Luke Skywalker. It's the last one they can do, because I doubt anybody else would return, and obviously one of them can't. So absent digital modeling, I think that makes the most sense. I think you partner with Ahsoka, and I think you put them up against Abeloth instead of the way it went down in the EU, which is going to be weird.
Going to be weird, but that's what they've got left.
It's also odd. It's also odd to me that we're not dealing with the threat.
No.
Left over from the last Ahsoka.
But Culture, what this means is that if Luke will come back to face Abeloth, Luke's going to come back to face Thrawn. They know they can't make it anymore without Luke. And so here's what I think is going to happen. I'm going to step out a little bit into speculation territory. So out of what I've been told and into my own thought process. Marvin, you tell me what you think about this. I think in 2 years, we're going to start seeing Luke Skywalker again in Star Wars. I think Luke is going to be a driving part of it again. And I think for the next 5 years after that, Luke's going to be a significant part of Star Wars. And I don't think any of the folks at Lucasfilm who were brought in under Kathleen Kennedy are fans of that, but I think they're forced to do it. And not by the thread either.
I mean, look, we've seen the malice that this current Lucasfilm has for Luke Skywalker. We've seen the red X on his face in the Lucasfilm offices that they tried to explain away with some garbage story. We know they don't want. We know that when he showed up at the end of Mandalorian season 2 and everyone rejoiced, Kathleen Kennedy's minions were mocking fans for being passionate about it, the way they mocked Star Wars theory.
I'm convinced, Marvin, that Gru's minions are more capable than Kathleen Kennedy's minions. Continue.
100%. 100%. At least they, have some fruit in this. There's some fiber going on with the bananas. But I don't even know if bananas have fiber.
That was quick. That was quick-witted. Okay.
But anyway, if you can make him the centerpiece again, the problem is you can't have him going forward. There's an end point. There is a point of there is the windmill from Back to the Future 3, the point of no return. Once you hit the First Order, he has to go live on that planet and then die on a rock. Unless you can look, at this point, I would welcome somehow Luke Skywalker returned in this Rey trilogy, if he could be this central Yoda-like figure in this that's at the head of the New Jedi Order, but they're not going to do that. They're never going to do that because they cannot bring him back going forward. I think if they tried to, people would accept it more than they did somehow Palpatine returned. But I think at the end of the day, unless you get rid of the problem, which is Kathleen Kennedy, Luke's involvement will always be to prop up whatever failing property they have, like the way Obi-Wan Kenobi was used to prop up Reva.
Well, I don't think that worked very well.
Well, it didn't, and this wouldn't work very well either. So it's bait. They are the queens of bait and switch, and a bait and switch, folks. Let me explain, is a lie. You lie to the audience, and I am afraid that bringing back Luke Skywalker just gives them more opportunity to lie to you about what.
Going all the way back to the beginning of May of this year, we've been reporting that we were hearing that Luke Skywalker was going to be a major part of Mandalorian and Grogu, not just a simple, very short cameo, but a major part of the film. And of course, we continue to hear that. And if they're going to bring Luke back for Ahsoka season 2, then it's getting really close now to just knowing and not speculating that Luke's going to be a big part of Star Wars going forward. They never wanted that to be, but they're going to have to make it be because shows like The Acolyte show that no one is all right with where Star Wars is. No one wants this stuff. I only have one dread, other than I know this leads back to the sequel trilogy. I just really don't want to see Luke have to fight against witches all the time. And that seems to be Dave Filoni's one note that he plays these days. So I don't know. Guys, final thoughts on this. Anybody excited? Anybody think maybe we'll get a love letter to the fans from Favreau on the way out?
I think Jon Favreau wants whatever he does to make a lasting impression on Star Wars. And I know that's not really tremendous insight because everybody wants to make, a lasting impression on Star Wars when they work on it. But I think Jon Favreau... Well,
he could put Lizzo back in the movie and that would do it. No doubt.
Right. Yeah. Well,
lasting impression would be there.
Yes, the impression would be 2 very large butt prints. But anyway, I think that he really wants to make a statement with this. Kind of like if all is to be believed, maybe a middle finger on the way out. Like, look, I'm going to do something. People are going to praise it. It's going to be the first thing they've praised since the last thing that I did. And going forward, good luck trying to match me.
Culture, as you give your final thought on this, I have heard in the past Favreau interviewed and him say that he wants to try to unite, he wants to try to have the sequel and the prequel and the originals and the animated and all the fans of all the different flavors of Star Wars enjoy it. My thought on that is there are so few fans of the excrement flavored sequel trilogy that you can have an ice cream sundae with all those delicious flavors. But the minute that brown ice cream hits, no one wants it. No one wants that sundae anymore. I don't know how they're going to thread the needle of having the sequel trilogy continue to exist. People hate it. I mean, no one's watching the sequel trilogy. Nobody likes the sequel trilogy. Even the people who advocated it for it, they moved on because they just want to destroy more stuff. They don't even like it.
Well, that's J.J. Abrams' legacy, right? Is moving along from franchise to franchise. But in sticking with your ice cream analogy, here's the problem. They put the sundae in the microwave in season 3 of The Mandalorian because it was poorly received. And then they continued to, destroy the sundae with subsequent shows. Like they added, like gravel and sand and things like that to the sundae after it's been properly microwaved.
It is probably more coarse now with that sand in it.
Yeah, probably. So now you're going to go back and refreeze the sundae from its current state and think it's going to be appetizing to the audience. I don't know. I don't think that the path that Favreau had set out with originally, which I think was a good one that gave him an opportunity to expand his vision of Star Wars. First of all, it was not going to lead to the ultimate end. It was never going to get there because he was going to deal in the past where things had not been spoiled. Now they were spoiled again. I have a feeling that there's no path of recovery. The reason there's no Mandalorian 4 is because of this quote unquote movie project. And I don't think that even that is going to be something that people are going to warm up to. I think that the overwarmed microwaved sundae with sand and gravel in it is inedible. And I think I don't think you can recover from that, Pro.
We've seen some things that are unrecoverable in the past week, I would say. And you read the New York Times, you'll see where one particular individual is being called to step down, step aside, step away. I just wonder how long it is until Disney execs are saying the same thing about someone else. I just wonder. This Acolyte thing and Ahsoka both combined, man, that's a 1-2. Ahsoka was terrible. Nobody watched it. Acolyte's even worse, and even less people are watching it. But you know what, folks? We might be beating its ratings with the Acolyte After Parties right here on the Pro Channel. We will see you in the Acolyte After Party. We hope Culture will make it back, Marvin as well. You guys are hilarious when we do these, and we love doing them, folks. We'll have
always a lot of fun.
9:30 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday evening, we'll be doing the next Acolyte After Party. And from what I'm hearing about this next episode, it might be the worst. I mean, it just,
it can get worse.
No,
yeah, it can. But folks, we will see you there. We hope to have Lauren as well, and bring the antacid, folks. You're going to need it. All right, folks, on the way out the door, make sure you click the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment right on down below. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, so waste not yours. Join a community dialogue. If you are not yet subscribed to Culture Casino, well, you may have lost your mind. So get over there and subscribe, and also subscribe to That Game Place, as well as Tooneytown TV and Tooneytown Wrestling. Both links are in the video description down below. All right, folks, we're going to see you real soon. In the meantime, keep learning, keep growing. May the Force, not the thread, be with you, and keep having fun.
You'd better hang on to your feathers, little bird. They need to put you in the show.
What? Jose, what are you listening to? You don't even have ears.
Vacation Radio 24/7. Original music on YouTube. Vacation Radio. WDW Pro Music Channel.
I have no idea what you're saying. But if you want to be listening to music, you should head over to Vacation Radio 24/7 on YouTube. One of the 100 other channels WDW Pro's been working on. Oh, and I have a song for you, Jose. Jose Cowabunga. He is Jose Cowabunga. He's Jose. That one seems a little bit foreign to you.